students. Now we will see module 5. Module 5 is nothing but it is going to deal about your optical networks. So under that we will see optical network evolution and concepts. So an optical network is nothing but which is going to connect the computers or any other device which can generate or store the data in electronic form, and it is going to use the optical fibers for communication between the source and the destination. So between the source and the destination you are going to have the optical fibers. Over these optical fibers you are going to transmit the light, and here in this case in between your source and destination you can use any other device where this device can generate or store the data in electronic form there. So your optical fibers are nothing but it is a very thin glass cylinders or filaments which is going to be used to carry the signals in the form of light. So why do we need optical networks? So mainly our demand for bandwidth. So here as the number of users have been increased, so there is going to be a demand for bandwidth. So here in this case, when the number of connected users in the online is going to be increased, we need more and more bandwidth. So as a result, we have more intense network applications are going to be available. That is like example, your data browsing on the web, your applications which are going to require large bandwidth, your video conferencing, downloading of a movie in seconds. So in that case, we need optical networks. That is, more bandwidth is going to be required there. So for all these reasons, we had gone for your optical networks. So the advantages of optical network is, first advantage is your high speed capability. So high speed capability is nothing but we will be able to send data in terms of terabits per second. So approximately we will be able to send 50 terabits per second using the single fiber there. And the attenuation is going to be very low, distortion is also going to be very low, and for transmitting the signals the power requirement is also going to be very low, and the material usage is also going to be very low, and the space that is going to be required for establishing this network is also going to be very small, and the cost involved in establishing an optical network is going to be a low cost, and it is going to be immune to electrical interference. So because of all these advantages, we go for your optical networks. So generations of your optical network. So generations, we have three types of generations. One is your first generation, second generation and your third generation. So in your first generation, we are going to have your point-to-point communication there. So point-to-point communication means we are going to use your optical light which is going to be used for transmission, and it is going to provide the necessary capacity to transmit the signals through the fiber. So point-to-point communication is going to be there. So here we are going to do a switching operation, and the other intelligent network functions are going to be handled by the electronics which is going to be concerned in this network there. So here initially in the first generation we had your SONET technology and your SDH. Your SONET is nothing but your synchronous optical network, and SDH is nothing but your synchronous digital hierarchy. So second generation is, in a second generation we are going to have a network where this network is going to be a fixed network there. So in this fixed network we are going to have the routing operation, switching operation, and the intelligence in the optical layer is also going to be used to provide the routing and switching operation there. So we are going to use your multiplexing techniques. So by using the multiplexing techniques we are going to increase the capacity of the network. So next is third generation. So third generation is nothing but we want to increase the operational speed, as well as by using a fixed network we will not be able to achieve the required capacity there. So in order to achieve the required capacity and the speed, what we do is we go for reconfigurable networks. So this third generation networks is nothing but a reconfigurable network, and it is going to be used to increase the operational speed. So under this we have three modes of optical switching. One is your circuit switching, the other one is your packet switching, and third one is your burst switching. So first we'll see your circuit switching. So in circuit switching, what we are going to do is a path is going to be established between the source and the destination. So once a path is going to be established between the source and the destination, your transmission is going to take place over this path there. And after the successful transmission of the entire message, the path is going to be removed. That is called as circuit switching. Next is packet switching. So in packet switching, instead of achieving a complete transmission in a single step, what we do is the message is going to be broken into packets or small units, and each packet is going to be sent on this established path. So here this packet will contain the control and the addressing informations regarding the destination. Third one is bus switching. So bus switching is nothing but it is going to lie between your optical circuit switching and your packet switching there. So here in this case your message is going to be transmitted in the form of data bus on the established path there. So here while a separate bus of informations are going to be sent which is going to contain the control data. So the switching setup time, so in the case of optical bus switching, the switching setup time is going to be higher than that of an optical circuit switching, and it can be assigned in microseconds. So the optical packet switching is going to be a very fast switching speed, and this is going to be in the order of nanoseconds, and the higher transmission rate of up to 160 gigabits per second can be achieved using optical packet switching. So here it is going to offers the higher utilization of the resources is going to be done in optical packet switching. So here this is your diagram. It shows the switching time versus your generation of your network. So in the first generation we had gone for point-to-point communication where we used SDH or SONET technology. In second generation we had gone for the wavelength routing, and third generation we are going for your optical bus switching or your packet switching or optical circuit switching. So in this case we can go for, when I'm going to go for an optical circuit switching, it can be a dynamic one or it can be a faster one there. If I'm going to go for, I can go for a hybrid mode also in the third generation, that is your optical circuit switching can be combined with your optical packet switch. So that is called as your optical hybrid switch. So basically your optical network structure is going to use your optical fiber for as a transmission medium there. So which is going to be used as a connection. So this optical fiber is going to be used as a connection between the many users, so that can communicate with each other and by transporting the information from the source to the destination there. So when I am going to interconnect various optical devices together for transmission of the data, the transmission of the data is going to be done with some operational procedures, so that the successful transportation of the optical signals can be done between the source and the destination. So here we are going to have a number of nodes. So these are your optical nodes, and we are going to use your optical fiber as a communication medium or a transmission medium, and through this transmission medium your wavelength is going to be passed. So we call this in terms of your light paths. So here we are going to have two different light paths. These two different light paths are going to be traveled through this optical node. So here when it is going to come, this optical node, this signal is going to be your lambda 1 is going to be a signal which is going to travel to your optical node 2, then to your other nodes. So here we have your light paths. These are going to be called as the light paths, and at this node we are going to have your lambda 2 output, that is one wavelength is going to come through this node and the other wavelength is going to be routed through this node. So we are going to establish a connection there and we are going to see it. So here your optical fiber link is going to be used as a physical link. So here we say that your optical network is going to consist of optical nodes which are going to be interconnected with your optical fiber links. So your optical node is basically a multifunctional element which is going to act as a transceiver unit. So this transceiver unit is capable of transmitting, receiving and processing of the optical signal there. So here our optical fibers are going to be mainly used for point-to-point physical connections between the network nodes. Point-to-point fiber links can be used to establish the logical links where the destination node can be reached by traveling through one or intermediate nodes in a single or multi-hop. So in point-to-point fiber communication, here in this case communication, transmission, transporting information from source to destination can be done by using a single hop or multiple hops there. So if I want an uninterrupted optical signal to reach the destination node, then we can go for multi-hops there. So where each channel is going to be assigned a specific wavelength from the source to the destination. So here the signal which is going to be carried on a dedicated wavelength, that is from the source to the destination, is known as a light path. So here in the example what we have taken is lambda 1 and lambda 2 are the two light paths there. So the data can be sent over these light paths once the connections are going to be set up. So for having the connections to be established, for the data to be sent, we need a controlling mechanism. So this controlling mechanism is going to be required to provide for the data flow during its transmission, so that it can authenticate that the entire data transportation between each transmitting and the receiving node. So by using a suitable control mechanism, we can find what data we have transported has been received properly or not. So this controlling mechanism will authenticate this entire data transportation there. Then based upon this simple optical network scenario, fundamentals can be divided into three broad areas. That is, we can divide it as optical networking terminology, the functions and types of optical network node and switching elements, and the wavelength division multiplexed optical networks. Thank you.